Hi there. This past Tuesday, January 28th, George R. R. Martin made his first blog post in a month, which was really his first significant blog post in a full 4 months. That the last major one in which he was discussing his own works was back in early September. And in the week since then, he'd only make quick heads-up posts about, oh, here's an unrelated project one of my friends is working on, please check it out, that kind of thing. Nothing about his own projects. And then he didn't post anything since the holidays, so this is officially the end of our 4-month-long news dead zone, since all the post-House of the Dragon Season 2 stuff. For that matter, we're also starting to get casting and filming news for House of the Dragon as they're in pre-production gearing up for filming next month, so it's great to come out of hibernation for this. Particularly because in this new blog post, George R. R. Martin strongly praises the upcoming HBO TV series A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is an adaptation of the other Game of Thrones prequel series, the Dunk and Egg novellas, which is roughly halfway between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Now, it wasn't a very long blog post, but despite that, there were several intriguing points in it that I want to break down. Now, Martin's blog post brought up 7 points of interest, but I realized some of them grouped together, and I didn't want to make a really long 40-minute video that fewer people would watch. So I'm splitting this up into a trilogy of videos. I'll go over related points in each of those. This one I'm going to go over 3 out of 7, the major ones, to start with. But keep in mind there's 2 more after this because there's a bit to dissect from this blog post. So diving in, point 1, main point right at the top, Martin made the blog post to share with us that he has now seen all 6 episodes of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1. Though the last 2 were rough cuts, you still have to put some special effects or editing music into it. Same thing. He has seen all of Season 1, and it officially has his full seal of approval. That there have been prior blog posts where he said, I've seen the pilot, which is the first episode. He hadn't seen all 6 yet. Now he has. And he is really enthusiastic, has his full support. And he also says it's a very faithful adaptation. As Martin says, direct quote, "It's as faithful an adaptation as a reasonable man could hope for." And he ended the entire post by saying, "I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do." That's really high praise when an author is saying, I hope you enjoy an adaptation as much as I, the original author, did. So that's great. I'm really excited for this. I know we've been in a news slump just because there hasn't been much going on. And when that comes out, it'll give us the online fandom a shot in the arm again. Second point, moving on to what Martin said, direct quote, "Dunk and Egg have always been favorites of mine, and the actors we found to portray them are just incredible. The rest of the cast are terrific as well. Wait until you guys meet the Laughing Storm and Tanseli Tall." Now, Martin has already praised in prior blog posts and interviews, he's already praised the 2 lead actors who were Dunk and Egg. Dunk played by Peter Claffey and Egg played by Dexter Saul Ansel. But what's new here is saying these other 2 actors were real standouts to me. Tanseli, she's a Dornish woman who does the puppet show, is played by Tamsin Crawford. I'm really happy he likes her, but I kind of expected her to be prominent because she's the main female love interest. She has a lot of scenes. What surprised me, happily surprised me, was that we're going to get a lot of the Laughing Storm. Lionel Baratheon, he's, the boisterous bruiser who's laughing as he's fighting people and dueling people with a hammer or something. So that's great. I was worried they would skimp on him. Particularly because he is a major recurring character throughout their lives, as we found out from the future outline of their later unpublished adventures in the world of Ice and Fire. There's artwork of Lionel doing stuff in a duel with him when he's a Kingsguard, all sorts of things. Now, he's not in the 2nd and 3rd novellas, but we know he will be head of House Baratheon. He's reasonably important. He does stuff that there was a chance they might have streamlined him to be a minor role in Season 1 of this. Instead, no, Martin considers Lionel the Laughing Storm Baratheon to be a major standout. He's played by actor Daniel Ings. And while I'm on the subject, though Martin doesn't mention it specifically, just on a general level, no spoilers or anything, just from chatter we've seen on Instagram and for other people involved in it, we've also heard that the actor who plays Arian Brightflame is really good. No spoilers, they just generic praise. They go, wow, he's so good, without saying, specifically what, but you might recognize him now. Actor Finn Bennett, who was just last year in HBO's True Detective Night Country, where he played the deputy and sidekick to Jodie Foster's police chief. So we knew of him and that they've cast him as Arian Brightflame, and I think he has the look. I think he was a nice guy in that show, but I think he could be really menacing if he needed to be. And he is Dunk's rival and archenemy, even though, like Laughing-Storm, he isn't in the second and third novellas. From the future outlines, we know they will clash throughout their lives as the story goes along. Of course, there's a whole stable of HBO actors who get reused between projects, like how the lead pair from Raised by Wolves, mother and father, joined House of the Dragon Season 2 as Jane Arryn and Alan of Hull on the Velaryon side. Also, watching Dune Prophecy this past December, tell me in the comments the shout-out we got of Mark Addy, Robert Baratheon, was in Dune Prophecy in the third episode. Same episode also had Oscar Tully in it, Archie Barnes, so they reuse actors between things. Reason I bring up Dune Prophecy, though, is remember there was one member of the spy ring that's trying to assassinate the Emperor with Kieran Atreides? One of that trio of spies was played by actor Sam Spruill, who has been cast as Maekar Targaryen, Egg's father, who also eventually becomes king through a series of unfortunate events. Now, he had already filmed his stuff for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. By the time he filmed that, it was a quick role, it wasn't a big thing, but just if you're watching along, that's Maekar, an early cameo of him. But I like how they reuse people, like Travis Fimmel from Raised by Wolves was also back on an HBO project with Dune Prophecy, so early cameo by, if you've seen those, tell me in the comments that this is Finn Bennett, this is Sam Spruill, they will also be major characters in it. The cast isn't nearly as big as Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, for that matter, because it's a character piece. It's a smaller scale, makes it more focused. There aren't as many recurring characters, but obviously, like, Egg's father will be a recurring character, or his evil older brother, Aerion. No word on casting Aemon, however. Maester Aemon, we hope he's in Season 1. We still haven't heard anything. But this is great praise from Martin. We didn't know. Would they be using Laughing-Storm a lot? They are. Third point, the last one I'm going to get to in this specific video, because I'm prioritizing the most important stuff first. Martin strongly indicates in this post, pretty much confirms, that the series will most probably release in late 2025, not summer, as earlier stated by HBO. Though when this happened a few weeks ago, people are arguing in the article, the HBO representative said summer, but things are in flux behind the scenes when, same paragraph, Variety's article editorialized, but every internal source we have says it's more likely to be fall of 2025. The exact wording they used was fourth quarter, which could mean October. Now, Martin is just confirming what Variety had already heard rumblings about, that it's not going to be summer. Some people online here are going, oh no, it will be summer because they want it to be true. But Martin is confirming this. Well, they stressed to me 2025, which means as late as like October or November. Because it's a shorter show, only 6 episodes. Mentally, I'm moving forward with the functional assumption that they mean October. Because that's what Variety speculated. Technically, fall can mean anything from the last weekend of August through November, but I'm going with October. That I don't think it'll be... Again, people keep moving the goalposts, there's a chance it could come out in summer, therefore it will be summer. Well, it could come out as late as the last weekend in August. We're hearing it's later than that. And at this point, 6 months out, what does the difference of 3 or 4 weeks make? I mean, the activity levels have already gone down. This is also why we probably haven't had a full real trailer yet, because why would you put out a trailer right now for something that's coming out in over 6 months? I have no information on trailers whatsoever. I kind of hope that they might put one out, a teaser out during the Super Bowl next week, just because major trailers tend to come out during the Super Bowl, but that's just a blind guess. I'm not really sure. So I managed to keep this video pretty short at only 10 minutes instead of one big 30-minute thing going over everything he said. I'm breaking it up into 3 pieces. That part 1 here, Martin has seen all of it, last 2 are rough cuts, but all of it. He says it's amazingly faithful. He really enjoys it. Not only Duncan Egg, but also Tanseli and the Laughing Storm are standout characters in this. He loves the actors, and he pretty much confirmed we're looking at a fall 2025 release. This thing is not coming out in summer, which gives us more time to prepare. Now, please join me after the jump in part 2 of this breakdown of his blog post.